Ivanka Trump arrives in Jerusalem amid Middle East tensions. The U.S. president's daughter, Ivanka Trump, has arrived in Jerusalem as tensions in the Middle East threaten to erupt. Ivanka Trump is the star player in what might be in other circumstances a routine ribbon-cutting ceremony. But it won't be routine. The daughter of President Donald Trump, with her husband Jared Kushner, is in Israel to formally open the new U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. The event is part of an accumulation of tensions, which threatens to ignite an eruption in the region this week. While the eyes and hopes of many diplomats are firmly planted on the Korean peninsula, this will be a week that could return global attention to the Middle East. Permeating most of the tension will be Iran, which is close to all-out war with Israel and has lost unqualified support of Arab neighbors. Israel has made clear it will not tolerate Iranian forces on its border and is willing to retaliate by a tenfold factor any raids or rocket attacks. The agenda is frightening governments in the region and elsewhere, including Australia. And it's into this atmosphere of mounting hostility that Ivanka Trump will represent her father. Last December, Mr. Trump delivered what 2 generations of U.S. presidents had promised but withheld. He moved the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and said the ancient city was the capital of Israel. Palestinian groups including Hamas, who want East Jerusalem as their capital, threatened to protest against the opening by Ms. Trump and husband, and that included warnings of violence. In another sensitive occasion, May 15th is the 70th anniversary of founding of Israel, known by Palestinians as Nakba, the day of catastrophe. There will be celebrations among Israelis, but again it will be taken as a provocation by some Palestinians. Further, it is the eve of the Islamic celebration of Ramadan. Extremist Islamist groups, including Islamic State, have designated it the season for atrocities, and the family of suicide bombers who murdered Christians over the weekend in Indonesia. One reason Palestinians might use the issues of the week, particularly the U.S. Embassy event, is to attract greater attention for their cause. Major Arab states such as Saudi Arabia were relatively mute over Mr. Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, a decision that would have generated massive opposition 10 years ago. However, the Palestinian cause has been relegated to a comparatively minor issue by the military provocation of Iran, and not just on Israel's border. Iranian forces and those of its terrorist proxy Hezbollah have been active in Syria, Yemen, Lebanon and even as far away as Morocco. Israel has produced documents it says show Iran has been building towards a nuclear capacity, despite its disarmament deal with the U.S. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action negotiated under President Barack Obama. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull was one of 6 national leaders briefed on the intelligence by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Trump has said he will abandon the agreement and has the backing of Israel and many Arab states, but not Britain, France, Germany or Australia. Israel argues that should Iran gain nuclear weapons, the Saudis would want their own, and the arms race would put at risk the world and not just the region. Meanwhile, conventional arms clashes are increasing. Last week the Iranians fired 20 missiles at Israeli positions on the Golan, and the retaliation involved attacks on almost all Iranian bases in Syria.